Hi and welcome. Today we are going to talk about the ultimate article recipe. That is, how do you write an article regardless of whether you are writing how to, that is a tutorial, how to article, what is a listicle, that is things like 5 things, 5 challenges, there are 10 reasons, those are called listicles. Then there are also infographics, a newsjacking article, that is for press, yes, or journalism, regardless of whether you are writing to that specific audiences. Then what do you need to include? First of all, those are the things that we are going to talk about in the next 10 to 20 minutes. I think we should be done, and we are going to talk about how to optimize it, not only for the search engines but also for the user. But for if you're a content writer and not a marketer, you know that what matters is your clients, okay? Because mostly you'll be writing for internal, okay, what do we call them? Yes, for internal already acquired customers. But if it is a blog post, the intention is to get it to be in front of more people, and so you need to optimize it for the search engines, whose algorithms continue to change every day, every now and then. And so what because we are not in a position as to why we can control all those rules. We only have one rule that we can control, and that rule is user intent. How is the content that you are writing going to help the consumer? That is the user who is going to use it. And so what we are going to do here, we are going to not to disregard the power of the tools that are already available to the writers. And with that said, already right now the AI, artificial intelligence, has also been in the limelight, especially ChatGPT, in the space as to what has been termed as the content writing is dead, or the AI is going to take those jobs. My friend, writing is not going anywhere, and AI has been there, was there even before us. Because when you see things like Google itself is an AI. We also had Jasper AI. We also had Quillbot. Yes. So even Turnitin is an AI system. So most of these things, they are powered by artificial intelligence, but there are limitations. Because for example, the ChatGPT, it is run on limited data, and if you ask specific questions, it cannot fully answer. And if it answers, it gives you an average response. And what that means is that you are not going to get anything professional from it. And if you do, it is just an average of all the responses that it has got, and all the data that it can compute and give you reasonable content. And that said, the power of human brain can never be overpowered by a machine. That is my opinion. It's my opinion. And as a writer, you are supposed to use these tools to your advantage. That is, they do the boring part and you do the creative part. the part that is intriguing, that is very exciting to you. Okay, and so what we did and what I always advocate for is use the content writing, the AI and those writing tools to help you with the intimidating tasks. For example, when you're starting a blog, when you're starting a blog, you already have a title, right? But you don't have any outline that can be used that you can use to build up your articles. And so what you can do, you can use the AI, either the free versions or the paid versions. They are always there. And then what you do, you can put it, you can put your topic there, and then what you do is prompt it to write an outline of your article, and these you can put very specific prompts. So this includes subheadings, the number of subheadings, the levels. And so when you have that work with, you can then from there you can go now and research specifically for those, and then so the whole thing, it is going to help you prevent the redundancy, of which it is going to work with already the data that it has been trained with, and give you a standard version of it. But you're not supposed to use it the way it is. You're supposed to now go sit down and see what is working and what is relevant and what is not relevant in your case. And so with that said, if they can populate the different sections with generic data or the generic information, which is going to give you a rough idea of what is already average there, and then build upon it. Okay, and build from that. They can give you a framework, and then you go and fill with the data that is going to be used and the information that is going to be used by real people, and real people will have real help, so that they can, so because the intention is to provide a solution to a problem that is there. Okay. Yes, I guess for the time that we have spent explaining that, I know now we are on the same page as to why you matter and why you need to take this thing seriously. Okay, and so now let's start writing this blog post. And so the first thing we are going to talk about, there are different blog posts, and the average is between 1,200 to 4,000 to 5,000 words, and it depends with the type of the content you are going to write on and the intended use of that. For example, if it is a tutorial, it is very in-depth. It is also very descriptive and very informative. So it is better to put in more work, have as much detail as possible, and max it up. And then you can, from it now, you can now write smaller articles, that is with a small number of words, maybe 500, talking about specific subtopics on that. So let's say we are talking about the various challenges facing small businesses. Okay, there are many problems, but they can be boiled down to, for example, 5 to 7. Okay, and these are matters of employment, of employee management, finances, business strategy, and overall running of the business. Okay, and there are very many things that can happen, that can be a problem, but you can touch on them on For example, you can touch on employee management, and then you can touch on finances, and then you can touch on resource allocations, and then you can also look at other factors like early scaling up, like early growth. Yes, those are the kind of things we need to look at here on a blog post that is as big as this. And then from there, such a blog post, it has to learn more than 2,500 words. And from there now, in subsequent articles, that is, we call them staple posts that answer one specific question or one thought. Now you can answer one subtopic. Why, for example, why employee motivation matters, how to employ the right talent, okay, and why employing right talent matters, why financial management for startup is key. You see, if you are in the B2B space, for example, like us, Dolan managers, we are in the B2B space, and those are the kind of questions we deal with, and the solutions and the problems and solutions that we deal with every day. And so for us, that is one of the areas. So let's say it is a blog post like that. One thing you need, we already have a blog post title, and then from there you need a very good introduction. But before that, there are some things that you need to cross check before you start writing. One, you need to state the targeted keywords, and that is the exact keyword, and then long tail keywords. So what we say that maybe you are talking about small business challenges, okay, and then that is the keyword. Then there are long tail keywords. And the long tail keywords like 5 small business challenges facing 5 challenges facing small businesses in Kenya. 5 challenges facing small business in their first 2 years after establishment. Those are long tail keywords, okay? And then from there, you have to create the buyer persona. That is the person who is going to read or who is being targeted by this topic or this article, and by so doing, you will be able to speak. You'll be able to not only speak but also address this person or generate a tone that is targeting this specific person and not just blind targets. Yes, you just write to everybody, and when you write to everybody, you are writing to nobody. So what we do, that is the first step. That is have the blog post title, then have the keywords, the target keyword that is being targeted, and then the long tail keywords. That is there was the target keyword, and then the long tail keywords, and then you have a buyer persona specific. It can be 1 or 2, but every article should have 1 buyer persona. And then from there, now we start writing the introduction, and the introduction is supposed to be around 100 to 200 words, and here that is where you introduce your article or your topic, and you start by having a hook. And what is a hook? A hook is something that is going to make the reader want to read more, or you get the attention of the reader. And so in the recent time, you have seen that the average click-through rate or bounce rate, that is when the user clicks on your article and then presses the back button. They say the average is more than 60%. 60% of the bounce rate. And then they have retention, page view retention of about 2 seconds. And that is very bad. And so this happens when the reader does not get value within the first few sentences of your article. And what this means is you need to know who and what and where this person is consuming your content from. And the best thing that we have seen is to start with a sentence or a statement that make sure that ensures you as a writer recognize the pain point of the reader. So what this means is that you put yourself in the shoes of the reader, either figuratively or fictitiously, but at the end of it all, you have to narrate the story from the reader's perspective and not your perspective. So by doing that, the reader will be able to see that whatever they are reading, it is from somebody who understands them and understands their pain. And it is specific. The solution that you are trying to provide is specific. And you should provide a definite answer within the first paragraph or the first 2 lines. The first 2 lines of the introduction, you should provide a definite answer to the topic or whatever you are answering. And so by doing that, you not only win the love of the user or the reader, you also win the love of the SEO. Yes, the search engines. And that's where now if you click to Google, you get a rich snippet. Okay, that article, when you search something and then the first article has a very complete answer, a very good answer answering your question. And not only that, there are several, it is called a rich a snippet, yes, a rich snippet. So within the first two lines, make sure you provide a definite answer to the whole question, but it should not be something like it depends. No, they should be definite. And then they are the same ones, and then you continue to introduce why the answer matters, and that is when now you enter into the body. And into the body of the blog post or the article, that is when now you start to include things like, why does your topic matter to them? The history, you introduce. Now you introduce well the terms or the title itself. You introduce it to the customers or the audience, and then after introducing it well and giving it a very good background, backed up by facts and figures, and then from there, that is now when you include what they need to know about the topic and why your answers or your answer that you had reached at the introduction, how did you arrive at it? You see? So that is the different sections of the body. So it includes the blog post title, why it answers the question, why does it matter? And then provide a background, a very good background of the topic, and then elaborate on what you are writing about and how you intend to answer the question and the methodology that you used. So, for example, if you are writing from a personal point of view, that is an issue that you faced. Maybe you are buying some sneakers because you are trying to give a personal perspective as to why one version or one specific brand of shoe is good for a different audience. For example, running shoes, why they are good, or those the ones that are used for training, the gym, why you think or why you choose them as the better option over others. So you are doing a recommendation. So from that perspective, now you must provide a background as to why it matters, the shoes matters, and how you arrived at that decision, that opinion. How did you develop that opinion? What propelled you to make that opinion? And by doing so, you build more reputation, more trust with the client or the audience as they move further down. Because from there, after giving a general background of the topic and arriving and giving a rundown as to how you came to get that point or that answer, and then you provide a very good analysis of what is in the market and why your option is the best compared to what is in the market. And that is where a very good analysis makes a good point. Okay, so you make a very good analysis comparing what you are offering and what is not being offering, and the specific pain point that this one is going to be the best option compared to others. Okay, and then give them tips. You must provide tips and reminders for action, because the attention of these readers is very limited. So you have to write in subtopics and subsections, so that when the readers see, they can quickly skim through your article, even if it is a 2,000 words. Yes, they may not have the time to read word for word, but if it is possible, they can skim and get the whole picture, the better. So you do an analysis, you give them tips, and then you give them resources to help them make better choices, not only now but in future. Okay, now you have to go overboard and provide more value than you are paid for, and that is very good, because these people have given you their time, and if they have given you time, their time. Now it means they trust you, and if they trust you, you also need to give them something back in return. Okay, and that is where now giving them more resources to help them make better decisions even in the future. And that's where now the freebies come in, the checklists to accompany them. There are free ebooks and guides to help them make better decisions. Okay, but up to there, now you provide solutions. After you provide a solution, because now in the whole body you have analyzed, you have given a background information, you have explored with the reader how you came about, providing a step-by-step process in explaining the process as to how you came about the decision, and then towards the end, and you have analyzed and then given them the resources that they need. And so this does not necessarily mean that you have to provide a tangible or resource. No, and this can be in a form of recommendation. Okay, and how do you guide them to make good decisions in the future, not only now but in the future? And that's how now when you reach at that point, then that is when you give them a call to action, because you have already concluded, and you conclude with good recommendation, not by running down whatever you have covered the whole article. That is not your work, and that only works in the academic world. But if you come here, we don't do that here. In the conclusion, you give a closing remark, but with a call to action, directing them to make a desirable action, So this can be either to buy, to sign up, or to read more. Okay, to get them to another resource that is going to help them better and warm them up to make a desired action, and something that is going to bring you more money. Not even more money, but more revenue and more value back to the business. Okay, so this is dependent on the performance indicators, the metrics that you chose with your client. Okay, if it is sign-ups, downloads, revenue that is increasing sales, etc. Now the call to action, the closing, now that is where you help the client to make the right decision, and with that you will have written a very good article that not only goes with the recommendations of search engines, but also an article that is going to help the readers. And with that, thank you so much for listening.